Hello everybody, it is Bryce here, and I am bringing you another Diablo 3 video, and this time I am playing my Demon Hunter, and we're going to do a little guide on him. Now, I should have said this in the last video right before I started, but this is not the most optimal way to play every build on highest MPs. I mostly farm low MPs and really MP0, because it's very effective for XP when you have a class such as the Demon Hunter or Witch Doctor. But I was really happy that the Witch Doctor video got so many views. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, enough talking. So first thing, I guess we'll go over the skills. So Elemental Arrow with Ball Lightning, that's your trash clear. I think it's by far the best trash clear. There's also multi-shot, but I just like the way this looks, so I prefer that. Hungering Arrow with Spray of Teeth is single target damage because whenever it critical hits, it explodes and does 50% extra damage, which is really handy. Hold on a second. Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Andrew had just called me. Anyway, so as I was saying, Spray of Teeth does a lot of single target damage. There's also Devouring Arrow. And you don't even need to really use these skills that much because the build that I'm using uses Vengeance. And Vengeance, with it, for each health globe you pick up, you gain 20 hatred and 2 discipline, plus your hatred is increased by 25. There, that's a better way to look at it. So 150 instead of the base 125, so it's really handy to have extra, so that means you can cast 15 elemental arrow damages, not including any regen you get. And discipline, every time you run over Tel's Globe you also gain. So we'll continue on with the other skills. Actually I'll do these skills. So I'm using archery currently, which for higher MPs, even low MPs you can use. It's just a bit of damage, although Night Stalker's a really good option for the extra discipline regen if you're not using legacy nats. Perfectionist is also a great one because it increases your health, it increases your life, armor, and all res by 10%, so that's a really huge buff to your EHP. I would say that's a pretty good skill to use on higher MPs, because whether people like to believe it or not, Demon Hunters can play on higher MPs. I personally just don't, though, because I don't find it any fun, because I like to run around and destroy mobs. So, let's hope that didn't save. Good. Tactical advantage, this is just necessary as a Demon Hunter for speed of your runs, because every time you vault, gain 20%, I think? 60%. Oh, I was off by a long time there. So 60% movement speed is gained from any time you vault, and I'm using tumble because you want to use the least amount of discipline as possible. It used to be that you could use oh, let's see if this is gonna let me look at it. Nope. You could have used Trail of Cinders when it did 1500% weapon damage, but now I think the only real good one is tumble. Everything else for vault, not that amazing. Preparation, I'm using backup plan, although a very good option if you don't have more than 45 discipline, I think it is, or more than 40 at least, is where is it? Focused Mind, which is 45 discipline over 15 seconds, which means if you have 30, you're going to be gaining 15 more technically than what you actually have. So it's kind of handy, but I think sometimes it's just nice to instantly gain it all back when you need to use Shadow Power with Gloom, which is the next skill that I'm going to say. Gloom is just because damage reduction, really handy, 15% lifesteal. Gloom is almost, I think if you don't have it on your build as a Demon Hunter, you're not doing it right. Even if you have lifesteal on your weapon, it's just probably not enough to stop like reflex damage, so Gloom is almost a necessity. So yeah, those are my skills that I'm using. Oh, forgot the main skill. Spike Trap is going to be your damage dealer, because you can put 3 of them out. Each one costs 30 hatred, so you don't even waste all of your hatred when you cast them. And they each do. I use Echoing Blast because It explodes 3 times, dealing 275% weapon damage within 8 yards. So that's I guess that's like 8 yards right there. And so that's a lot of damage that you can do with 3 of them, doing 275 times 3. So I don't know the actual percentage, but it's really, this is your elite killer. So like this is your trash mobs like Golgors and all that. This is your those what are the name of those? Can't believe I don't know the name of the scorpions. That's what they are. I should really know that by now. This clears out scorpions. That's your like Golgors and skeletons, stuff like that. And then this is your elites. Just make sure Gloom only life steals, like any, you would have to press Gloom and then place one of these down to get lifesteal from it. Gloom only applies to damage dealt after the fact. So yeah, now that I have that lengthy description of all my skills, I'm going to show you my gear. So first things first, pickup radius, very good skill. Because I'm using Vengeance, which I think it's a really good skill to use with your Demon Hunter, especially on higher MPs, when you want more hatred to spend your spike trap to kill the mobs and all that. I think it's a really good skill. So pickup radius, one of the most important skills. The next most important is Magic Find. Now, you want to try to go for your cap of 300 as quick as possible. I don't believe I'm capped here. Yeah, I don't think I am, but... And I'm already 43, but your goal should just try to be get pickup radius, get Magic Find, but also get all your base stats. So, crit chance, crit damage wise, it's very easy to get high crit chance with the 2 set now, because it's 7%. So yeah, I would go for 40 up, that's fine. Crit damage, 350 up is fine. All res, I'd hate to say it, but like 200 up. 400's a lot more comfortable, so that's why I'm using the Mempo at Twilight. And yeah. So attacks per second is not as important until you're higher geared. Like this isn't that. This is like 100 mil worth, a little bit less now. But Manticores, we'll get started on those. So I was doing my testing, figuring out the ruby and the gem, why people use it. So this is the main question. It's because if you have percentage damage there, the ruby actually grants you more damage. And so that's why it's better. Like, right now, even with when I put on, like, at first I thought it was the shrines that maybe the more attacks per second granted better damage, but it wasn't that. It was the weapon percent damage. So this one doesn't have it. This one is very cheap bow, and has 14 all res, essentially. So I thought, whatever, it's a good deal, and it was, so that's that. Gems wise, you don't even need radiant stars. It's almost a waste of money because of how expensive they've been. I would say these ones here, let me see, 80% gems, those are fine to put in your weapon. Your gear, these ones are fine. Radiant square, emeralds, stars, those are fine. So yeah, I'll continue explaining the rest of my gear. So, Ina's pants, as you see, I have pickup radius because I want to have a lot of pickup radius and I don't have a lot of life. That's one thing you're going to realize. This is what you don't want. I would say minimum life, 35k up. That would be really nice to have, but currently I'm just sticking with pickup radius, and if I die, oh well. But you'll see on each piece of my gear, like these boots, high dex, Magic Find. Quiver, I wanted elemental arrow damage because that's one of my main skills, because you can't get spike traps, otherwise I'd get that. This has almost max attack speed, max critical chance, and almost max elemental arrow damage. So it's a pretty good quiver. Forgot what I bought that for. Now, Natalia's Reflections, this is one thing I'd recommend to anybody. If you don't want to get crit damage or crit chance on it to make it cheaper, get high average damage, like this has 50 or something, or 40 something. And so get a socket and high average damage, and that's really good for the Nats ring. This gives me a lot. I don't know actually what it is, but it's a good amount. Belts, Witching Hour you don't need. I would almost recommend going with an Ina's belt with Vitality. Same thing with the Ina's pants, get them with Vitality. Or pickup radius. So Ina's pants and belt, you can go for pickup radius. currently I have it on the pants, and I went to Witching Hour because I wanted higher damage, and I was using a Mempo. Crit chance not needed on the Mempo. It will give you a lot more DPS if you can afford it, but I'm pretty sure they're all like over 200 million easily. So this one was just nice. I would go for 9% attack speed, almost max all res. Not that amazing dex, but everything else is pretty good. Now my amulet's pretty crappy, but I went for magic find, dex, crit chance, crit damage, which are pretty high on both of those. So yeah, I have the magic find there on my gloves. I have it on the ring, the boots, the quiver. So you see, it ends up being a really common occurrence in my gear. Now for the chest piece, I got lucky on this, bought it for really cheap. You want to get spike trap damage on a Natalia's Embrace. People sometimes go with the Ina's pants, Ina's chest, the Vast Expanse. I prefer the chest just because you can get that 11% damage and other stats also. So I went with pickup radius on this with high vite. That's not that high, but decent enough. Now, sometimes if you have enough all res, like, I'd recommend getting on some on the gloves, maybe, well, you want to get, these I crafted, which are currently really amazing shoulders. I crafted these very soon, and for a monk who's a lightning res, this would be amazing. But, here, I have some other pants here. If you got Lacunis and you wanted some EHP pants, these are really good for them. You go for high vite, all res, another resistance is always nice. And now for my Natalia's Sight, this is what I recommend. High crit chance and magic find, gold find, not magic, gold find. Magic find, pickup radius, or vitality, life percentage, any of those kind of skills are really good on it. So that's what I'd recommend if you want to go with the Natalia's Sight and get the 20 max disc, which I would highly recommend. So yeah, this is another one I crafted, just 6 crit chance. So if you buy these, I would recommend lower dex, higher vite, higher all res, 5 crit chance maybe, and try to get the pickup radius, but that would probably cost you a fortune. So craft your shoulders, craft your bracers, craft your gloves. Amulets, they can be good, and like I had a really good one on my wizard, but still pretty expensive. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll just shoot a little bit. Now, I have the Legacy Nat set right here, which I probably will play around with. Right now I'm just keeping it because I don't need to use it right now. But if you do want to buy a Legacy Nats, crit chance Natalia's Gaze would be best. I was gonna buy one, and then I didn't. Chest piece, I went for high vite instead of spike trap damage. Boots, I just went for cheap ones, and Natalia's Mark, I went for the socket, because socket and average damage would have costed about the cost of this gear, and then maybe more. So yeah, that's basically how I use my Demon Hunter. Go for magic find, pick up radius, and then when I play, let's see if I can just, oh wait, I just realized I finished this run. Okay, let's go down here. Let's see if I can find any mobs. Need to test around, or not. So it looks, oh, there we go. So first thing you do, pop gloom when you're, especially when you're lagging like I am right now. You want to pop a gloom right before you shoot them, especially if it reflects damage. Yeah, you see, this is what you do. You stutter step, you shoot with your right click or whatever you put your elemental arrow to. You launch a volley of them, and then you just sidestep out of the way. Make sure you don't walk into any poison. Like these guys, they can really hurt you. And once your health goes down a lot, you just pop up another gloom, and you come back right back up. There we go. If I could speak English. So yeah, I'm just gonna. So yeah, then you see once you kill them, you can vault through, and you have that 60% movement speed. And yeah. So that's how I basically play it. Natalia's Sight, good because it has a socket. that's why I was saying before that Natalia's Gaze is not... You can go for Crit Chance or the Socket. Both cost about the same price for just minimal stats if you wanted to go for the Legacy Nats, which is really fun to play with, so that's why I bought it. Yeah. EHP pants that I might use eventually. So, 2 Socket Manticore, this is what I was talking about before, is worth it to buy because not only are they really just becoming really cheap, but once you get one with percentage damage, which is what I'd recommend, I would try to go for 30% weapon damage one, with a good damage of course, and high crit damage and dex. Get that, put in one of these rubies, because unless of course you can afford stuff like the Marquise rubies, all that. So yeah, and that will increase your weapon damage higher than what a Radiant Star can do. So that's why I'm using the Radiant Star. It's just because it's easier. So yeah, you see, Magic Find 345 with 5 stacks of Nephilim. Not bad on MP1. Gold Find doesn't need to be high. So on this gear I believe I have 100 Magic Find base and 40 Paragon levels, which is 129. So I should have 229 technically. I don't know if that's actually true. But yeah, that's how I play my Demon Hunter. I don't know if I talked about alternate ring. You could go for Hellfire Ring. This is my int one that I crafted a while ago. I'm using it even though it doesn't give me the best stats, but whatever. I'll just let it go for now. That one gives me more damage. This one gives me 5,000 more damage. So yeah, but this one gives me more life but less damage, so that's why I figured this one was a good in-between. Yeah. So that's how I play. My alternate ring that I have for this guy is this ring. It gives me 25,000 damage compared to this Hellfire. So that boosts me up to 200k damage. Of course I need more Vite, I need a lot more Vite, which is why I'm trying to get to 100 Paragon, and it becomes a lot easier. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment. Tell me what you think I did wrong. I love seeing it. Just let me remind you, I really just play this game for fun. I'm not that much about efficiency. Like, leveling wise, if I was really strict about it, I would play strictly by a path and not just roam around like I do. So if you did enjoy though, like, subscribe, do whatever. I will see you guys soon.